On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to contribute in healing the world. Traditional rulers charged to unite for the sanctity of traditional institutions. And CGN charges appeal court justice on professionalism. Good evening and welcome to NTW News at 7. We apologize for that mix-up. I am Olawumi Adeniji. Thanks for joining us. Here are the details of our package. President Bola Tinubu was a resounding voice as he joined world leaders in search of common solutions to challenges confronting the world at the United Nations General Assembly high-level debate in New York. President Tinubu emphatically called for sincerity of purpose from members' nations as he reaffirmed Nigeria's and Africa's readiness to contribute in healing the world. State House correspondent Musbah Danwaha reports.
Quiet Tuesday morning in parts of New York City. But from this building were voices to the world, voices towards unity of purpose to improve the global system and for its inhabitants.
That freedom will finally prevail.
We need to bring the same commitment and urgency and ambition as we work together to meet the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030.
The solutions are peculiar as they come, and so too is this new yet assertive voice.
On behalf of the people of Nigeria,
President Tinubu lends his voice against man's inhumanity to man and to the environment, leading to adverse effects from the universe manifesting in climate change. But while reaffirming the commitment of Nigeria and indeed Africa towards finding solutions to global challenges, Tinubu calls for sincerity of purpose in the crackdown on terror financing, economic sabotage, illicit mining, and arms smuggling in the developing world.
many proclamations have been made, yet our troubles remain close at hand. Failures in good governance have hindered Africa, but broken promises, unfair treatment, and outright exploitation from abroad have also exerted a heavy toll on our ability to progress. We are not asking for identical programs and actions. What we seek is an equal, firm commitment to partnership.
ECOWAS, under his chairmanship, has been up against unconstitutional takeover of governments in West Africa and on the continent. The Nigerian leader wants global support against political instability in Africa. However, President Tinubu invites the world for a genuine business in Nigeria as he says efforts are on in policies to ensure a more conducive environment for businesses.
Welcome partnership with those who not mind seeing Nigeria and Africa assume larger roles in the global community. The question is not whether Nigeria is open for business. The question is how much of the world is truly open to doing business with Nigeria, and how African is an equal, mutually beneficial manner.
Other African leaders also speak on equity and fairness in matters concerning the continent.
The people of our continent are once again bearing the cost of industrialization of the North and the development of the wealthy nations of the world. This is a price that the people of Africa are no longer prepared to pay.
In New York, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
And in the same vein, race to protect the planet has just been accelerated after world leaders, business giants, and experts gathered in New York for the Climate Ambition Summit. For President Bola Tinubu, it is about building a political consensus that highlights remedial action for the Great Green Wall Project. Charles Alpha has more.
People, the world is heating up. Wildfires continue to cause death and destruction. Coal, oil, and gas still account for 75% of global greenhouse emissions, which continue to fuel the climate crisis. While the damage from the climate crisis is already extensive and global greenhouse gas emissions remain at record levels, the world is on a quest to keep global temperature down to within 1.5 degrees. Is there change possible?
Allowed countries
For President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the global fight against the effects of climate change cannot be based on a one-size-fits-all approach.
African nations will fight climate change, but must do so on fair and just terms. To achieve the need popular consensus, this campaign must accord with overall economic efforts.
He said nations must be cooperated within the design and implementation of their own strategies, which are tailored to their respective socio-economic strength and weakness.
In Nigeria, we shall build political consensus by highlighting remedial actions which also promote economic good. Projects such as Green Wall to stop desert encroachment, halting the destruction of our forests by mass production and distribution of gas burning stoves.
President Tinubu says such efforts regarding climate change will register important victories only if established economies were more forthcoming. Leaders here are resolute to accelerate action on climate change, and for the Nigerian president, it is no going back on the global fight to restore the ailing earth. Charles Alpha, NTNU.
And back in Nigeria, traditional rulers have been advised to unite to achieve common goals that will sustain the sanctity of traditional institutions to engender development. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun gave the advice during our historic occasion of Ijebu Obas from Lagos State visit to the palace of Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Kayode at Daytona. Correspondent Anthony Gandon was part of the event and now reports.
Motive behind the historic visit of royal fathers under the aegis of the Lagos State Ijebu Traditional Rulers Forum was to pledge allegiance to the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono. Aside from this, the forum explained that they also visited the highly reverend monarch to identify with him and acknowledged his unparalleled desire for oneness, peace and development of Ijebu-speaking Obas in their domains.
Since its establishment, this body has not looked back and it continues towards stronger, trying to expose every recognized Ijebu homeland far away from their ancestral home in Ogun State.
Addressing his guests, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono, said part of the objectives of the Lagos State Ijebu Traditional Rulers Forum is to further enhance the existing unity and protection of the territorial integrity of Ijebu people within and outside Ogun State. Identifying with Ijebu Obas, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun and the Akarigbo of Remo land and Chairman of Ogun State Traditional Council Oba Babatunde Ajayi appealed to the forum to increase their membership base to accommodate traditional rulers from Remo land.
We will continue to invest in programs and initiatives that celebrate our history, empower our traditional institutions, and promote our cultural diversity. We understand that culture is the bedrock of social cohesion, economic progress, and sustainable development.
We need to work together. One of these we need to work together.
Other personalities at the event described the visit as historic.
Summit on economic, summit on security, summit on culture. I think those things will bind us together and that will become one.
By the time you get over to be involved in politics, then you are denigrating and you are desecrating the royal stool.
Another fallout of the visit was the approval by the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland that the visit be held annually to chart the way forward for Ijebu Remo. In Ijebu-Ode, Anthony Gandon, NTA News.
Hit the ground running is a common phrase that has in recent times been used frequently to express readiness to carry out tasks with diligence and needed energy. In this report, National Assembly correspondent Lamiale tells us how this has been applicable to the 10th Senate, which within 2 months after its inauguration, screened and confirmed more than 60 presidential appointees and amended some laws.
The life of the 10th Senate began with a new president in office.
The current administration has brought about the acronym of Renewed Hope. I want to assure Mr. President, we are here to do national duties.
This pronouncement by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, sets the tone for unity of purpose between the two arms of government. The Senate was faced with the task of discharging mandates with what some may call the speed of light. Reason is to enable efficiency in governance as the federal government seeks immediate impact to the Nigerian situation. Little wonder it attended to executive requests expeditiously. Some notable legislative work carried out by the 10th Senate in less than 2 months from June 13th to the 8th of August when it commenced recess include screening and confirmation of service chiefs, screening and confirmation of ministers, and amending the supplementary budgets to provide 500 billion naira for palliatives due to fuel subsidy removal. It also passed several resolutions, key among which is the request on authorities to suspend the proposed increase of electricity tariff.
It's such a very serious issue because this goes to the root cause of production. It also goes to the root cause of employment. If we have to have employment opportunities, then our industries must function. And then the industries cannot function without electricity. Estimated billing. I think this must also be brought to an end.
We have passed a lot of motions also that have to do with the dilapidated nature of our roads in the country. We have passed a lot of motions that have to do with the security of the lives and properties of these citizens of this country.
As senators are set to resume from recess, their expected priorities are targeted at further consolidating on the legacies of previous assemblies.
Legislative agenda of the 10th Senate. Gender matter, revisiting the women participation in politics and political positions. Youth development, very essential. Then electoral sanctity, functioning legislation.
We are going to embark upon one of our major constitutional responsibility of oversight on ministries, departments and agencies to see whether the 2023 Appropriation Act has been executed in accordance with the spirit and letters of the Appropriation Act.
Added to these are considerations of executive requests when transmitted, like the screening and confirmation of the newly appointed governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, with the 4 deputies and additional ministers recently nominated by the president. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, has charged 9 newly appointed justices of the Court of Appeal to maintain professionalism in the discharge of their duties. The CJN gave the charge at the swearing-in ceremony of the justices held at the Supreme Court. Chukunoso Nwabuzwe report.
The administration of oath of allegiance as well as the judicial oath by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, on the 9 new justices cemented their elevation to the appellate court. The CJN admonished the senior judicial officers to conduct their adjudication within the ambit of the law and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In life, gift and wealth that are not worked for, which are by extension undeserving, are always destructive and calamitous in nature. I pray that your lordship don't fall into such snare in the course of your ascension to the pinnacle of your career, because your reputation and integrity matter much and count enormously in your rise to honor and fame in life.
Guests who cut across the legal profession, senior government officials, politicians, as well as the traditional institution and relatives of the newly elevated justices encouraged their lordships not to fail in their new responsibilities.
I look forward to a better output from them with influx of 9 judges. So we hope it will bring about speedy dispensation of justice.
My prayer and my wish is that they will do the right thing at all times, that they will not let this country down.
This is one of the highest number of Court of Appeal justices to be sworn in the recent past, following the unprecedented 18 justices that were sworn in June 2021, as well as 12 in November 2012. Chukunonsonwa Bweze, NTN News.
We are going on a short break now. The news continues.
Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go wash plate tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa?
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go tell?
On the beat, baby.
Àǹdẹ́kùn bẹ́yọ̀ bá ń yálẹ̀ ẹ̀dá ohun burúkú a máa yọ ọ̀rú wọn ṣe ni. Mo ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ nínú orin tó ré kọjá. Ẹni Ọlọ́run fẹ́ lọ́mọ èèyàn fẹ́. Ẹ máa yọ ọ́nú sí mi.
Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. The new controller Nigeria Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command Idiroko Amadou Shuaib has promised renewed synergy with relevant stakeholders to win the war against smuggling and interborder crime and criminalities within the West African sub-region. He said that this while taking over mantle of leadership of the command following the redeployment of his predecessor, Bamidele Makinde, to the command headquarters, Abuja. Akim Jimon reports.
UNICEF ranked Nigeria after India as the second country with the highest open defecation cases globally, while Kwara State was
That was the exchange of baton between the outgoing and incoming controllers with symbol of authority of the Nigeria Customs, while giving account of stewardship since his assumption of office in February 2022. The outgoing controller, Nigeria Customs Service, Ogun 1 Area Command, Bamidele Makinde, says the command has made laudable achievements in the areas of curtailing smuggling activities, facilitation of legitimate trade, and revenue generation into the coffers of the federal government.
Out of the 2023 revenue figure of 136,532,168 naira 22 kobo only set for the command for the year 2023, we have generated the sum of 127,122,058 naira only, which is about 91% of the budget.
The incoming controller, Amadou Bello Shuaib, solicited renewed partnership from stakeholders to win the war against intra-border crime and criminalities.
Nobody is better than anybody. It's an opportunity. And we don't hold it and carry it on our shoulders. Please, I solicit your cooperation in that regard.
Goodwill messages centered on the need to build on the existing relationship between Nigeria and Benin Republic. While Controller Makinde was redeployed from Ogun 1 Area Command Idiroko to headquarters Abuja for higher responsibilities, Deputy Controller Shuaib was redeployed from Ogun 2 Area Command Abeokuta to take over the mantle of leadership. From Idiroko in Ogun State, Akim Jimo, NTN News.
And on that note, we end today's news. Have a good night rest.